Assassin's Creed Shadows has finally been revealed, and today we have a ton of new gameplay details to discuss. I'll be covering the story of AC Shadows, the new combat and stealth mechanics, the parkour system, and of course just how huge the open world of AC Shadows will be. We have a lot to talk about, guys, so check the video chapters for easy viewing and let's get into it. Assassin's Creed Shadows takes place in Japan in 1579. During the Azuchi Momoyama period of Japanese history, the story begins in 1579 and will continue into the early 1580s. The country is on a brutal path toward unification, driven by the iron will of daimyo Oda Nobunaga. Unrest grows as new coalitions appear and corruptive foreigners infiltrate the land. After the brutal invasion of the peaceful province of Iga, a young shinobi embarks on a journey to fulfill an impossible promise, while a legendary samurai finds a new purpose, confronting the demons of his past. In Assassin's Creed Shadows, you will live the intertwined stories of Neo, an adept shinobi assassin from Iga province, and Yasuke, the historical legend. Against the backdrop of the turbulent late Sengoku period, this remarkable duo will discover their common destiny as they usher in a new era for Japan. From chaos to purpose, from darkness to light, a new creed rises over Japan. Now, with this game taking place in the time period of 1597 to the early 1580s, this means this is the first game since 2015 to feature the classic forms of the Assassins and Templars. Now, in AC Shadows, there's a number of historical figures that play a prominent role in the campaign. These feature Oda Nobunaga, who is of course the great unifier of Japan, and Fujibayashi Nagato, a master ninja of the Iga clan. Now, Shadows features two protagonists in the game, and you could switch in between them, similar to Assassin's Creed Syndicate. The shinobi lead, which is Neo, that we've talked about on the channel for a while, is the fictional daughter of Fujibayashi Nagato, and she's trained by her father, a skilled shinobi. The second protagonist is of course Yasuke, who is a real historical figure originally from Africa. Yasuke came to Japan with the Japanese in 1579 and soon became a samurai in the employ of Lord Oda Nobunaga. And the interesting part about Yasuke that we've talked about on the channel before is this is the first time you will actually be able to play as a real assassin in an Assassin's Creed game, which I think is really cool. Now, with the release of the reveal trailer, we actually have a lot of details in that I'd like to go over. The first being is this screenshot right here from the start where it says Ubisoft Original. This is the Iga province. This is of course where Neo is from. Neo is a farmer warrior from Iga province. This is a real place in Japan. It's isolated in the mountains, and this is where several shinobis come from. Now, in this screenshot right here, this is one of the troops of the Oda Nobunaga clan. Now, in 1579, there was a first attack on the Iga by the Nobunaga clan. In 1581 happened a second attack, and the second attack was a much more violent where the Iga got crushed. Now, this still is of course Sakai. This is a big port in Japan, and the ships shown are Portuguese ships, a version of the black ships or a lot of the merchant ships that were coming in and out of Japan at this point. Most of them came from Nagasaki, but for the sake of the trailer, it's happening in Sakai. Now, this person right here is Oda Nobunaga. This is of course a historical figure. He's a real life person, and he is one of the three main unifiers of Japan. He had deep relationships with the Portuguese through trade, and he is an incredibly powerful figure at the time. Now, in this still right here, this is Yasuke's arrival in Japan. Among speculations, the most common story is that Yasuke came in a couple years before this sequence and learned Japanese quite fast. Being fluent with a great knowledge of Japanese culture, Yasuke was the first African man Oda had ever seen, and this latter was impressed by his stature and Japanese skills. He asked him to stay with him. Now, in this screenshot right here, you can see that this is Neo's grappling hook. Now, this is a new tool that is very useful for stealth. It allows her to climb over walls that you cannot climb with Yasuke, or climb without the hook. It offers a different path for Neo. When finding hook points in the game, she can navigate much faster into the open world. In this screenshot from the trailer, this shows the dynamic world and destruction. Both characters can destroy a large amount of the props in the game. While Yasuke can break through shoji doors, Neo can assassinate people through them. Now, let's talk about the combat mechanics and RPG aspects that are in AC Shadows. Now, this era of Japanese warfare did not make use of shields, so your gear does of course not include any of those defensive options aside from your armor. So really the key factor is being able to dodge, and your positioning is paramount. Now, with Yasuke being a samurai, he's able to use his weapon to block incoming attacks and perform parries. Neo is able to engage in combat, but she is unable to block or parry. Instead, she can deflect enemy blows. Now, the enemy armor has a durability system that can be broken during combat. Now, as I mentioned before regarding the props, every prop in the game is able to be dynamically damaged by your weapons. Katanas will slice through bushes and baskets fruit ninja style, leaving accurate blade marks. Arrows will leave precise puncture marks, while blunt weapons will smash pots into tiny pieces. There is a ton of period accurate weapons that are available to use, including katanas, war clubs, yari spears, shuriken, kunai, and a ton of other options. Now, for Yasuke, he is able to use an arquebus rifle, rifle, providing him with a powerful long-range option. Now, each weapon also has its own skill tree. Investing time into that weapon will improve the overall proficiency with it. You can craft your own katana from gathered components and personalize it. And there's also a transmog system that will allow you to tailor your gear to look exactly how you want it. Active combat skills return and are unlocked by finding ninja scrolls in the worlds. And Yasuke and Neo have individual skill trees and gear, but share XP, collected weapons, and resources. Now, with this game being called Assassin's Creed Shadows and being the first actual shinobi Assassin's Creed game, let's just say stealth and parkour will play a major role in this game. There's a new global illumination system that creates dynamic light and shadows that may affect enemy vision. You can now hide in the shadows and even create darkness by destroying lanterns or killing torch carriers. There's a light meter on the UI that shows how concealed you are, from fully visible to completely hidden. Now, servants are a new type of NPC ranking between civilians and enemies. While they cannot fight, they are able to call in reinforcements and raise alarms. They have their own patrol routes and carry lanterns at night. Now, there's also a new option that allows you to knock out foes when performing a stealth takedown, allowing you for a more pacifist playthrough if you choose to. Another cool feature is you're able to crawl on the ground in a prone position, allowing you to maintain a lower profile as well as get through small openings. As I mentioned before, Neo has a grappling hook that can be attached to every roof edge, as well as a number of other anchor points. Unlike the zipline like grappling hook in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, this rope uses physics simulation to allow dynamic swinging. The grappling hook can be quickly used to climb into the ceiling spaces above corridors, allowing you to lay in and wait for enemies patrolling beneath you. Now, Ego Vision also returns, allowing you to spot silhouettes of NPCs through walls. Enemies are marked in red, while the new servants are colored in orange. The drone-like bird used in Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla to scout out areas and mark targets is not available in Shadows, which I personally think is a good thing. It makes it so you have to do your own recon instead of just letting the bird do it for you. Now, as a shinobi, Neo is the most skilled at stealth. Yasuke can use stealth, but his size and armor plating means he's better at using those skills to get the drop on targets rather than perform a fully silent infiltration. So next up, let's talk about the open world, the dynamics of the world, and the seasons. AC Shadows is built on an updated version of the Anvil game engine. The new tech allows for a better lighting through the global illumination, new breakable props, more detailed asset meshes, and much less pop-in. Now, the new Anvil upgrade has allowed for a season system that sees the world progress through spring, summer, autumn, and winter. The current season is dictated by how you progress through the campaign in order to maintain historical accuracy, but there are steps that each period goes through to create a sense of authenticity. Now, each season also comes with unique features that link to the gameplay. For example, in the spring and summer, when plants bloom and flower, there will be bushes along with long grass to hide in. Now, in autumn and winter, those plants will die and thus removing those hiding spots. Water also freezes in winter, which prevents you from entering pools and ponds. Icicles will form on rooftop edges and can fall if disturbed, potentially giving away your position. Seasons also affect NPC behaviors. In the summer, an enemy samurai cut through the bushes to search you. In the winter, foes stay close to fires and warm places, potentially opening up new colder paths for you to take. Now, the big thing that a lot of people want to know is just how huge is Assassin's Creed Shadows map. Now, the map is similar in size to that featured in Assassin's Creed Origins and replicates the central region of Japan. The map is divided into regions based on Japan's real historical provinces, including Iga, the home of the shinobi, Arima, the location of a major battle, and Omai, an agricultural breadbasket region. Now, the iconic synchronization points return, but in a reimagined way. Climbing to the top no longer plots a multitude of icons on your map, nor does it trigger the spinning drone shot of the area. Instead, from this vantage point, you're able to survey the area from the highlighted points of interest, which you could then seek out when back on the ground. Now let's talk about the overall assassinations in this game and the quests. So AC Shadows features a non-linear campaign largely focused on targets. Ubisoft says that you'll be able to free track these targets in any order. Some targets simply exist in the world, and you may stumble upon them organically without having researched or hunted for them first. Others have a more structured infiltration style gameplay attached to them. Ubisoft aims to create a more rewarding journey by a bit more hands-off with the campaign. While it is still objective focused, the studio hopes to enable more player autonomy by using hints to push players in the right direction rather than outright telling them where to go next. Most main missions can be completed either as Yasuke or Neo, allowing for freedom of approach. However, both characters have their own specific missions playable only by them, as well as bespoke introduction quests. Side quests and world activities are available beyond the main campaign. Notable things to find in the world include castles, temples, shrines, and art. You can build up a spy network with agents who can be sent on missions to gather intelligence on your targets. And then there's the hideout where you and your allies can gather together. This is a place where you can completely customize it, but we'll have to wait for further details about that. From everything we've seen seen and heard, Assassin's Creed Shadows seems like it's the real deal. I can't wait to learn more. It sounds like the next time we will learn more is during the Ubisoft Forward this summer, so basically sometime next month. The hype is definitely real. I really hope this game does live up to expectations. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe with your notifications turned on so you're not missing out on any future gaming news. And until next time, this has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.